Well, it's here. We've been talking about this literally for years, and today's the day to say goodbye. I have just a few words for you today. The first is thanks. It seems like such an inadequate word, but it's the only word that is also appropriate. You have loved us well for 30 years, and you've only reinforced that love with your words and gifts over the last few weeks. So, thanks. Second, next. What's next for you and for us is remarkably similar. It is transition into the unknown. And when we face transition, it's important for us to remember that from cover to cover, the Bible reminds us that change is inevitable, but God is always faithful and dependable. So we look to Him. What's next specifically for Linda and me is a sabbatical year or a year of rest. We've committed to one another that we're not going to accept any additional formal ministry opportunities over the next year. We're tired and we need the rest. Third, yes. That's an answer to the question, will we see one another again? Yes. Will Bob and Linda get back to Hickory from time to time? Yes. Can you come see us down in Leland? Yes, but not too soon. Remember that whole thing about being tired? One of the reasons that we're tired after 45 years of church ministry is that God called two very introverted people into a very extroverted life for these decades. And so what we want to do in the next year is prioritize rest and travel, time with our family, including a new granddaughter in just a couple of weeks, and then getting to know our new neighbors, finding a new church. So we'd love to see you, but would you honor that year of sabbatical rest? After that, yes, we would love to see you down in our new home. And then fourth, watch. This word is borrowed from the Apostle Paul when he addressed the elders of Ephesus on a beach in Miletus. And he said to them, I want you to watch because you never know how the evil one is going to infiltrate his church. For that first generation, very vulnerable church, the issue Paul was concerned about was that savage wolves would come in and destroy the church. I'm not so concerned about savage wolves. I trust the leaders who will be your caretakers, your protectors here. But I do know that the evil one will find different ways to disrupt and weaken his church. So watch. And as you watch, would you trust the leaders that God has given to you in this moment? If you have any concerns about Corinth, don't send them to Bob. Take them directly to those that God has placed over you now, your pastors and deacons and teachers and staff and elders, your pastor search team, and your new pastor when God calls a new pastor here. They're the shepherds for this moment. If you have either kudos or concerns, take them to those God has placed as your leaders for this moment. And as I ask you to remember them, I ask you especially to pray for Pastor Paul. He has accepted a new level of the burden of leadership, and I'm entrusting it to him. When I think of Paul, I think of what the Apostle Paul said about Timothy. He has proven himself. He's been like a son to me in partnership with the work of the gospel. So would you love him and care for him and pray for him and for your leaders? And would you watch? Would you watch your own heart, watch the church, and above all, watch for all of the new things that God will do in your next as you embrace him and his plan for you. So I want to close with these words also borrowed from the Apostle Paul's blessing to the elders at Ephesus in Acts chapter 20. He says, now I commit you to God and to the word of his grace that can build you up and give you an inheritance among those who are sanctified. Amen. And go in peace.